Oh, Darren. You're out here flinging the word propaganda around like a toddler who just learned a new curse word. And much like that toddler screaming shit at the top of his lungs, it's painfully obvious that you have no idea what the word propaganda actually means. So let's fix that. Slowly. With tiny words. Maybe some puppets like it's goddamn Sesame Street.
Today is brought to you by the letter E for educate.
Let's start with the basics. Facts are not propaganda. Saying that Danielle Smith is pushing anti-trans laws is not propaganda. Saying the UCP blocked Indigenous people from voting municipally is not propaganda. Saying they've gutted healthcare, slashed public services, broken ethics rules, and flirted with Alberta separatists and other far-right extremists. Still not propaganda. It's not even controversial. It's called reality. They're doing it on camera. They've written it on paper. It's verifiable. Just because it makes you squirm doesn't make it untrue. So here's a grown-up definition for you. Propaganda is the strategic use of information, true, twisted, or made up completely, to control perception, shut down thought, and steer people like cattle. It's not someone being passionate about a topic. It's not someone stating hard truths in a way you don't like. It's not commentary that hurts your feelings. Now, let's talk about bias, because clearly you've mashed all these concepts into one sad, uninformed mush. And yes, I am biased. Of course I am. I have opinions. I have values. I have a pulse. I don't pretend to be a blank slate floating through space. But my bias is grounded in facts, research, and things I can prove happened. Propaganda ignores facts. Bias engages with them. That's a big difference. Maybe take notes. But I can already see your eyes glazing over, so here, we'll go back to show and tell. This is propaganda. The UCP claiming the media is out to get them, while delegitimizing any outlet that questions their narrative. That's not critique, it's a tactic to discredit journalism entirely, aka propaganda. Danielle Smith pushing the Sovereignty Act to stoke resentment against Ottawa, misrepresenting basic constitutional facts to inflame separatist sentiments. That's emotional manipulation and scapegoating, aka propaganda. The organized campaign to erase SOGI education, framed as protecting kids while deliberately misrepresenting inclusive policies as grooming. That's fear-based, distorted, harmful, and not rooted in any semblance of reality, aka propaganda. Bias is something completely different. For instance, a columnist arguing that UCP policies disproportionately harm marginalized people. Even if written from a left-leaning perspective, that's policy analysis, not propaganda. A TikToker calling out the UCP's decision to block the Athabasca Chippewa First Nation from voting in Wood Buffalo. That's not propaganda. That's a real event. It happened. A progressive newsletter using sources, citations, and receipts to critique government policy. It might be slanted, but it's not dishonest. Therefore, it is not propaganda. And as for your little suggestion that I focus on the Liberals, girl, please. If they were doing even half the racist, regressive, authoritarian garbage the UCP is pulling in Alberta, I'd be on them with a blowtorch. But they're not. This current mess, this anti-democratic stunt, the dog whistles, the suppression, the fear-mongering, it's coming from your side of the aisle, exclusively. You don't have to like my content. You can block me or you can go cry about it to your group chat for all I care, but what you don't get to do is slap the propaganda label on facts just because you aren't intellectually or emotionally mature enough to process them. So the next time you feel like using a word you clearly don't know the meaning of, maybe open a dictionary instead of your mouth.